Oh yeah. Hey guys, if you haven't seen on Facebook or Instagram yet, obviously I am now the proud owner of a Hero 7 Black action camera, which I'm now recording on as we speak. Out here doing a little bit of testing with it, and just wanted to show you guys some footage from it, so we'll see how it goes. So one of the first things I noticed about it, obviously, same as the Hero 5 session I had, it's actually got a USB-C connector, so you can't charge it with your old micro USB cords, which can be a bit of a pain in the bum, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Secondly, the weight of it, compared to the little Hero 4 session, it's quite a little bit heavier. I'll put the actual weights up on the screen here. So one of the things I noticed about in the settings of the camera, you can't use the HyperSmooth at the higher frame rate. So 60 frames per second you can use the HyperSmooth, which is cool. At 120 you can use standard stabilization, which I don't know what that means. It's probably the stabilization from the old Hero 6, but it can do 240 fucking frames per second at 1080p, and that's gonna do some fucking awesome slow motion. So but you can't use any stabilization with that, but that's okay. 99% of the time I'll be recording at 1080 60 frames a second. That's good enough for my needs. When I want to get some awesome slow-mo, I'll crank that up to 1080 240 frames a second, and yeah, and obviously it does all the time lapses. And I also want to try out that the new time lapse thingy, TimeWarp or whatever it's called. So I'll try that out today, and I'll set up some shots and do a little bit of slow-mo stuff for you as well. I've also got the Hero 4, do a bit of a comparison with that. Now I did manage to bodge up a chin mount for the Hero 7 this morning, just using zip ties and an old broken J mount that I had for the old session. But it works pretty well, surprisingly. I didn't have to modify the helmet at all. It's just this J mount's just zip tied on there, 2 on each side, and yeah, perfect. So one thing I liked about having the session up here was I could actually see the screen down here when it was recording, so I knew whether it was on or not. I can actually see there's a little red LED that flashes in the corner here on this camera, so I can see that, so I can tell when it's recording. One thing I have noticed with this camera so far, it seems to be jamming up a little bit. I'm not sure what the go is with that. One point I turned the camera on and it didn't do anything, nothing happened. I had to hold the button in for ages and it reset something or other. And then just this morning when I took off riding, I hit the one-touch record button, and the screen came up, but it was just jammed and it wasn't recording. The little red light was solid instead of flashing, and I had to hold the button in again to turn it off and then turn it back on, and then it was fine. So I don't know if that's a problem with the SD card I'm using in there. I'm not sure which one I did put in there. It's a 64 gig. It's either a Samsung or a SanDisk, but I'll try the other one. I'll switch it around with the one that's in the Hero session and see if that's any better. So yeah, let's go do a bit of a comparison between the Hero 7 Black and the original Hero session. Alright, so I hope that HyperSmooth footage was as awesome as everybody else's looks. Now we'll go and do that, that TimeWarp and see how that goes. Dick lately, fucking hell. Yeah, there's some more practice. So even though this camera weighs more than the Hero Session, I think having it mounted on the chin bar is actually less noticeable. But on the downside of the chin mount, I think that it's probably going to pick up more shit off foliage and whatnot. For starters, being up under the visor, it's tucked away, you know, it's not going to, it doesn't get hit as many leaves and lantana and shit like that, because it's a little bit protected. But I'm definitely going to give this chin mount a go for a while. So it'll be interesting to see what the battery life is like on this. Yeah, another thing, I have got it set to HEVC encoding. I don't know if you guys are familiar with HEVC. It's the next generation of video encoding. It's HEVC, I think, stands for high efficiency video coding. Now what the difference with that is, if you're not aware, most of you guys probably know already, but if you don't, AVC was the old one, H.264. With HEVC you can get exactly the same quality video file at sometimes less than half the size of half the file size of the AVC one. So what it means for the GoPro is you can fit more video on your SD card. But again, it's something that my computer's probably going to struggle with processing offline. I'll see how it goes. I'm recording with HEVC format today. If it's a real bastard to fucking edit it, I'll probably just switch it back to AVC. But to give you an idea on the record times with HEVC and a 64 gig card, SD card, I'm looking at, it says I can do just over 3 hours of 1080p 60. I'm not sure what bitrate it records at. I'll find out when I get home. I'll put that up on the screen here. And with AVC, I think it was only going to let me do about 2 hours of footage. So another thing that I think I'm going to like about this camera is the removable battery. So even though the SD card will probably fill up pretty quick, if I get another battery I can just whack it in. With the old sessions, obviously, once the battery's dead, you got to fucking recharge it. You know, you can't replace the battery in them. Now, where was this fucking hill? So anyway, I hope the footage is good. audio is like too with this chin mount, and of course with this camera. Been hearing a few things about been hearing a few things about shitty audio with this, or bugs with the audio. Hopefully it's been fixed up in a software update for the camera. Hey! Fucking all the wildlife out today. And I just got to say a huge thank you to my girlfriend Natalie for buying me this camera. It's actually an early birthday present, even though my birthday's over a month away. I love you, baby. You are the best. She always knows what to get me. I guess it's pretty obvious when I've been humming and hawing about buying one of these for fucking 6 months, or ever since they came out. I'll pull up a top indicator hill here and see how much battery is left in this camera. Might as well make it up. Well, I don't fucking throw me off. Battery's down to 46% already, so I'm not going to be a whinging bitch or anything, but the only one thing that is annoying me so far with this mount is, well, with the Hero 4 up here, to get the camera out, obviously all you do is unbuckle it, pull it out, and you can video by hand if you want to. With this one, obviously if I had a buckle set up on the front here, it'd be easier. I could just slide it off and do the same thing, but to change settings on the touchscreen on the back of the camera, I have to undo the thumb screw here, fold it forward, unclip it to take it out, or just to access the, just fold it forward to access the screen on the back. It's not a huge deal, but it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that little mount. It's good. Fucking lipstick hill. Anyway, hopefully it's alright. I like to be able to see the handlebars a bit when you're riding. Not all the time, but now and then. Sort of gives you a good perspective. So what do you guys think of the Hero 7 Black so far? Are you liking the footage? Do you think it's worth that $550? Is that HyperSmooth all it's fucking cracked up to be? Whoa! Split the arse end out there. I'm definitely going to have to get another. Whoa, fucking right. Get another battery for it anyway. Don't think I'm going to get the battery life out of it that I did with the session. Mostly because of that HyperSmooth and whatnot. Stabilisation really chews up battery. Whoa, got it to start. Come on baby, I need a bit more speed. Yeah. Whoa. Too easy. Probably time to do a little bit of slow motion work, I think, over this little jump here. Now for anyone that's curious, I've left the white balance set to auto for the time being. I just want to see how this footage turns out. I know on my other cameras I always set the white balance manually, but I'm hoping that GoPro's got their shit together and the auto white balance is a lot better with this camera, so yeah, we'll see. Fuck, I wish I'd worn my jersey. Fucking arms are getting ripped up like shit. Thanks, mate. I'd say this camera is now on a ticking countdown to a flat battery. It was 19% when I was doing those slow-mo shots just before. I've achieved what I came out here to do, so got a bit of footage and I'll go home and hopefully get it edited up soon. It's a fucking rocky little section. Fucking Montana. Yeah. So if any of you guys have been sitting on the fence about getting one of these cameras, hopefully this video will sway you one way or the other. One thing that does concern me a little bit about this HyperSmooth stabilisation, other than the fact that it's chewing the battery like a motherfucker, I think it's going to really spoil the illusion of speed in our videos, and you guys are actually going to see how slow we really are. I think you'd be surprised how effective a shaky camera is at giving the illusion of speed. I really don't think there's much more I can tell you guys about the camera at this point. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this video or you got some useful information from it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Oh, yeah. Here, Mario. Alright, so I hope that HyperSmooth footage was as awesome as